Very good afternoon to one and all present over here. Honorable dignitaries, learned delegates, and respected faculties. A very good afternoon to one and all present over here. I, Assistant Professor Preeti M. Dagni, feel privileged to welcome you all on behalf of Cayley Society's Science and Commerce College IQAC, that is, Internal Quality Assurance Cell, in collaboration with Training Cell, organizes a 3 days national level FDP, that is Faculty Development Program, on empowering the faculty in personal and professional skills. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn. With this beautiful quote, I would like to once again welcome you all on this Google platform or on this e-platform. Now, I would like to request our Honorable Principal, Dr. G.D. Giri, to address the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Preeti. First of all, I'd like to welcome Dr. Ray for this particular program called as Faculty Development Program for 3 days. And really, we teachers, we work hard, we involve in completion of syllabus. We are in research. As we are teachers, we are researchers also. But it is very much essential to publish. It is very much essential to record our contributions somewhere. And that should be at the right platform, in the right journal. And this is an opportunity for all of us to listen today. Assistant Professor Abhra Ray, Department of Physics and Psychology. Sir will, I know that Sir will help us to know the various aspects pertaining to the research contribution. This is a necessity of the NAC. We all teachers, we remain busy in our daily activities, but such type of faculty development programs will help us in shining better. Ray sir, our Cayley Society is 106-year-old society. We are having more than 300 schools, colleges, medical colleges, and almost all area of education has been covered by this society. And our chairman, Dr. Prabhakar Kore, he is a leader for us, he is a mentor for us, and under his guidance, we are achieving the heights. On behalf of Cayley Society, on behalf of Cayley Society's College of Science and Commerce, Kalamboli, Navi Mumbai, I welcome you, sir, and I also welcome to all the participants from the different corners of the nation. And I'm sure that all of us will have this an opportunity to know the various aspects pertaining to research. So once again, thank you very much. And I welcome all the participants and experts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Prakash Badane to introduce our today's honorable guest speaker, Assistant Professor Abhra Ray. Over to you, Prakash, sir.
Thank you, Preeti ma'am. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's FDP session. My name is Dr. Prakash Badane. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our today's resource person, Professor Abhra Pratip Ray, who is going to talk to us about the publication of research paper in UGC Care listed journal and plagiarism. He has completed MSc in Atmospheric and Space Science from Savitribai Phule, Pune University, and MSc in Psychology. He is qualified NET CSIR 2003 in Earth, Atmospheric, Ocean, and Planetary Sciences. He is pursuing PhD in Physics from Savitribai Phule University and currently working as an assistant professor and head of the department Physics and Psychology, Pratibha College of Commerce and Computer Studies, Pune. Professor Abhra has 5 years corporate experience and 16 years of experience of academics. He is the author of 5 books, namely Basic Course in Astronomy, Heat and Thermodynamics, Foundation Psychology, Psychology of Abnormal Behavior, and Social Psychology. Professor Abhra has published 49 plus research papers in Scopus, Sci, Sci-E, UGC Care Indexed Journal in the field of pure and applied physics, solar physics and influence of the earth climate, space science, green human resource practice, behavior of adolescents, educational psychology, couple and family psychology, etc., and many multidisciplinary fields. He's published 7 different Indian patents and 1 Australian patent was granted in 2020 within 16 days of submission. 1 German patent published and granted in 2021. Professor Abhra received honor of Best Teacher by Image Achievers Welfare Forum, Mumbai, and the Best Educational Mentor, Best Entrepreneur Awards from the Brands Academy, Delhi. He is a founder director of Pinnacle Educare. He has delivered 119 live training sessions on writing research paper and book publications. Professor Abhra was panelist and judge for ongoing Toy-Cathon 2021 organized by Innovation Cell, Ministry of India, an inter-ministerial initiative brought up to challenge India's innovative minds to conceptual novel toy and games. Finally, Professor Abrare is also just fascinating person and we are all in for a treat today. Without further ado, please join me to welcoming Professor Abhra Pratip Ray. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Prakash, sir.
Thank you so much, Prakash sir. Now I would like to request our honorable guest, Assistant Professor Abhra Ray, to please continue the session.
Thank you, Priti ma'am. I'm really privileged to speak today to the audience available on the forum of KLE Society, one of the oldest renowned organizations in the state of Maharashtra and in India. So quickly, I'll start sharing my slide. Kindly do confirm if my screen is visible and I'm audible to all.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
And you are also audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you
You are
all,
audible.
and thank you, Principal Sir and other team members for giving me the chance of presenting to you on the very first day of the FDP. I'll quickly try to put across the reason of discussing this topic when Dr. Prakash sir called me and he just gave an in short idea. We just thought of this topic and this was something which is very close to my heart. One is, of course, publishing papers. I have been publishing into various domains, be it in the field of sciences or be it in the field of psychology. Both are two opposite ends in our normal educational environment. Whereas the second part is about plagiarism. That's very crucial and very important. We all lose a lot of, priority information because of misuse of data. So I'm very privileged to talk on this topics. I'll be available to any queries in between the session. So participants are requested to kindly interact in case anybody has a query or else in the end, I would be happy to answer all your queries. So quickly, let's start away with publication of research paper in UGC listed journals and plagiarism. Today, we got a very short duration to discuss a very vast topic. So I have just subdivided the topic as a teacher does into 5 subheadings. The first one is understanding how the publishing cycle happens in terms of research papers, in terms of research journals. That is called as scholarly publishing cycle. Second important part is understanding the dynamics of publication in UGC care. So I'm not talking about what is UGC care. I'm going to talk about the publication process. How to choose. I'll just show you live demo on the screen itself. Third thing is planning the article or the paper that we need to submit. And there are certain things, very short tricks that we need to keep in mind, keep in place so that we can submit the paper and get our paper accepted. Peer reviewing and responding to reviewers is also a very important part of publication process in case of any journal, any article, paper, or a research paper. And finally, which is a one-liner, that's about ethical writing and plagiarism. So I have just added ethical writing as a terminology to the context so that it becomes easier for us to understand. Let's understand how the scholarly publishing cycle happens. This is the most dynamic cycle which I can say with the basic figures which are maybe I would say 1.5 years old with respect to the international level. So if we look towards publishing of article, as you can see in my screen, I'm just showing to the pointer that you have a circle, a cycle which is followed. We submit the papers, but then what happens is when we submit the papers are accepted for submission with certain prerequisites. We'll look into that. But then once it is accepted, then what happens is the submission management takes place at the end of the journal. So whether our journal has got proper title, subtitle, authors, co-authors, and most importantly, the corresponding author, because that's very crucial for any reputed journal to have a corresponding author for proper correspondence with the peer reviewers and with the journal editors. So there in the step 1 begins, followed by which there is a scarcity of good quality papers. And as you can see, 30 to 60% papers are rejected upfront. The reason for this rejection is, primary rejection is the quality of paper. But there are other nitty-gritties, there are other small factors which are associated with this, and because of which the papers get rejected. It could be plagiarism, it could be wrong interpretation, it could be non-correspondence to the peer reviewers. Certain journals which are in the Elsevier list, they do reject the paper if you do not correspond with the reviewer's interpretation within a given stipulated span. So they give you 1 month time, but if you don't respond, then your paper is completely rejected right away, and you have to start the process once again. This cycle continues with a huge number of reviewers in the market. You can see on the right hand side I have mentioned some figure, and it's in lakhs. Huge number of reviewers are there. I am also a peer reviewer to a couple of journals, so there are lots of such peer reviewers who do review papers. Now, it is not required. Remember that all of us can be peer reviewers, irrespective of whether you are associated with the journal or not. You can always write a feedback to a paper which is published and send it as a review to the editors. So that's also possible. So that's a second step which is there. But initially, when we look at it, it's a huge band of peer reviewers doing the process. After this right side first quadrant part is actually very long, but I have just taken it uniformly. Coming on to the second part, wherein the publication house comes into action. So roughly when 5 lakh reviewers, 5.5 lakh reviewers review papers on a regular basis, around 3.6 lakh articles are accepted after review, accepted after modification, accepted after some changes, and then they are ready for publication. Ready for publication means there starts the publishing work, starting from what we initially called as typesetting or DTP is the first process. Nowadays, everything is digital, but although it is digital, but there is a formatting in which the content has to be extracted. So however small the journal may be, there will be a team of people working in the back end for this. And what comes out is, after this, there are millions of articles which are in the production phase. So initially I'm talking about there was only printed journal, but now there is online and offline, there is ISSN, EISSN kind of. So now journals do dual kind of a publication. They can be online, they can be offline, but think of the chunk of articles which are available in the domain now after the span. All this get accumulated. Now, when I'm talking about this at a maybe annual level, if this figure sum up in 5 years, 365,000 articles, 5 years, you multiply, you get a huge number, and those number of articles are available in the domain. So millions of such articles are available, and now comes the problem: which one is authentic, which one is not? So when we look globally, approximate study in the year 2019 suggested that there are more than 40 million articles globally available in some form or the other, and they are in a very, very pathetic condition at situations when the authenticity and the clarity of the content is not very evident. This is just to give you a picture of how we are going into the publication industry, the publication cycle. Here comes a crucial point. Somewhere, a couple of years back in 2018-19 came a very drastic change. It was identified in 2017, actually 2016-17, it was identified that a lot of articles are being churned out of nothing. Something is there, something is copied, and it's replicated, and people are publishing. People think that if someone has done some work in some other country, maybe China, for example, somebody has obtained a virus. Sitting in India, if I get to see a paper, I know that the paper will never come to India in the recent future. I make a copy of it and I publish in my name and take the patent for it and whatnot. So this kind of things, irregularities, brought into picture something which we call as UGC care. Now here I have shown, the circular which was passed on 14 June 2019 regarding the movement from UGC approved journals to UGC care journals. And here comes the change. So it was with effect from 14 June 2019 that UGC said no further articles which are published in UGC approved list of journals will be accepted. A new body was constituted. This notification is available in the UGC website as well. So I have just tried to give you an idea that this was when Professor Rajesh Jain was the secretary, and he passed on this notification looking at the academic integrity. Now, why am I giving you this picture is because with respect to this, we should be able to find our appropriate journals. This is how the UGC care website currently looks like. Okay, so it's a page wherein you can find something like University Grants Commission Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics. CARE stands for Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics is there, and this is basically located very fortunately in my own city in Pune, in the premises of University Savitribai Phule Pune University. So this particular UGC CARE is an organization which has been created out of the academic rich people to confirm the quality and the level of academic work being performed and being published in India, published in international platform. So now what does this UGC CARE list show, and what does it do? There are lots of informations. You can see on the left hand side, there is a message from the current UGC chairman. Then there are notifications which are there, all quite old, so may not be really important, but you can go through it. There are various current related things. Most importantly, I'll go to the right hand side. Right hand side, you can see there are important notices, and below that the UGC CARE lists, which are mentioned as UGC CARE list group 1 and group 2. Now, my dear, attendees, let us understand how this UGC care lists the journals. Now, that's very important. We should know how it got the journals in. So there is a protocol. So that protocol is a journal to come into UGC care list has to be recommended by the IQAC of any college or any university. So there is a pro forma, there is a format which is available. That format has to be downloaded by the publisher or by the IQAC cell, and they have to recommend a journal. With that recommendation letter from the IQAC cell, remember it has to be from the IQAC cell only, maybe even a college or a university or any academic organization or institute. So that recommendation letter has to be attached with the basic information from the publisher, wherein the credentials of the peer reviewers and editors are of utmost importance. So when we say that somebody is the editor, somebody is a peer reviewer, it is not only their academic qualification, but also their own publications. Like when, for example, I am a peer reviewer, my own publications are very important, because if I'm not publishing any paper and I'm just a peer reviewer of any journal, how would I have the capability to review those papers? Second thing is, the internal editorial team or the internal board of editors should not be publishing in that same journal more than 60% of articles. So they can publish out of 10 articles, 5 can be from internal sources, 5 can be from outside, but the journal cannot have all their own editors writing articles for them. So these are few of the filtration processes through which the journals come into UGC care list. And hence we get two kinds of list. One is group 1, another is group 2. Now, in this context, the major concern were the plagiarized content of clone journals, the predatory journals which were in the market, which were just charging fees. Every journal charged fees some way or the other. Now I'm just very skeptical to announce that 90% of the journals do have a publishing charge, but that is well declared in advance. So a journal cannot just come up and say that you give an article and will publish. No, those journals are reputed ones, and trust me, there is a journal in which I published my paper. It's a Scopus listed journal, and the fee was only 1,25,000. So it's very much possible that journals can charge you, but there are options to it. I'll tell you why we should go for paid journals if required also. Okay, but go for authentic paid journals. Go for journals which are there in the UGC care list, group 1 or group 2. All journals in group 2 may not be in Scopus, or all Scopus journals may not be in group 2. Let's have a look. Let's understand how it works. So this is the same website. If you can see on the right hand side, there's a login, and what I have done is I have highlighted it, and I'll actually log in the web page to proceed further. I hope there shouldn't be any query till now, because we are just discussing the basic of the part. Okay, I'm just showing you one more option as well. Like, for example, when we search UGC-care, even in Google, we get the first link, which is ugccare.unipune.ac.in. So we can directly go into this, and always try to create a login ID. There is a reason to it, because whenever you search for any of the journals, it will ultimately lead you to the login page to create a login ID. So best is create one login ID, and when I click on login, I get this. Now I have my already login ID created, so I'll directly type in. Otherwise, you can click on this bottom and register here. It requires only 4 basic information: your email ID, your name, the password that you want to generate, and a couple of similar things. Just, if I'm not wrong, it doesn't require your date of birth or any of the things. So it's a very simple page. I think my web page is visible to all. I'll just show this one also.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so till the time it loads in, we will try to log in and see. I'll just log in using my login ID. And you can log in using any Gmail ID or anything. You should just have your login ID and password handy with you. And most importantly, I have to click on that I am not a robot, and it takes me to the same page. Now, what I can do is I can search my journals. So I hope all of you are ready to search up with it. If anybody is unable to remember these pointers, do not worry about the presentation, about the slide. If you cannot remember, you will just take screenshots and you can remember. So I'll not go to group 2 journals first. I'll go with group 1. Group 1 are those journals, those which has been taken by UGC care unit themselves. So I'll click on this group 1 journals. I can search from here as well. Okay, I can search by any of these things. I can search by the title of the journal, by ISSN number of the journal, by publisher, by subject, and by language of publication. Now, just for those who do not know what is ISSN, it is actually an international serial number which is being provided to any printed or online published content which is regularly distributed. So the requirement is regularly. There has to be some frequency of distribution. Whereas when we write a book, or we publish a book, it is ISBN. Okay, so it is again a serial number, international recognized serial number, but that ISBN is for a book which is published only once. You can have a series of the book, but the serial number differs. Whereas for ISSN, it is the same serial number which continues of the journal from the starting till the end. Okay, so we can search by any of the means. Now, when I click on this search button or any button, I'll ultimately go into this page. Okay, the first landing page is the list of cloned journals. Now, I'll come back to this for the list of cloned journals. But before that, I'll go to the list and show you how you can search in the UGC care list. Very simple. I am a person from the field of sciences. So be it psychological sciences or any sciences. Now this page opens up. This is the page which comes in. I'll select over here, title, ISSN, publisher, subject, language. Now suppose I don't know anything. I don't know. I'm a student of psychology, and psychology is in arts and humanities as well as in sciences. So now what I'll do is I'll go on this, I'll type subject, and I'll place here psychology. And it takes me to the list of 19 journals which are on psychology. I have 2 pages, page 1 for first 10 journals and page 2 for another 9 journals. And these journals are listed over here. Now, there is a small confusion which comes into picture. Look at this journal 9 and 10. Okay, other journals are journals, they are in UGC care and a view button is there, but in 9 and 10 there is no view button, but it mentioned it's indexed in Scopus. So what does this mean? This means very simply that this journal, International Journal of Educational Psychology, was actually in UGC care list earlier, UGC care group 1 list earlier, but it got indexed in Scopus in group 2 now. So, these transitions do happen. A journal could be here right now. After 3 months, it won't be here because UGC care, churns out journals in phases quarterly manner. So January, there is one list updated on 1st of January. Then again on 1st of April, you will find few journals added and few journals removed. But when this journal got indexed in Scopus, it is in list 2. You will get the details in list 2, and hence in list 1 there is no view option is given. It's just made silent, and next time it will directly go into the group 2 and it will not be shown in group 1. It will be shown in group 2 journals. Now I'll just click on before I go to any journal, I'll just show you something over here. Look at the 3rd journal. I hope the screen is visible to all. Look at the 3rd journal. See, there is ISSN in one column and there is EISSN. So ISSN is for the print version, for the physical copy, Whereas EISSN is for the e-copy, and these journals do not have any e-copies. So they are not published online, they are published in physical form only. Now I'll go to this journal and click on view. When I click on view, see what I can get is the more details about the journal, including the journal title, which says print only. And that means the site which will be there will not have your articles, but will only have a index page and the contents. So let's go to current issue, and you can see the current issue having all the titles over there. Now this slowly goes further into, you click on the issue or any title, you can see the article itself. So complete article is visible. Now I'll just click on one and show you. See, you can see PDF 5 pages, the complete article content is there. Okay, so this is an authentic journal, and it might be charging people, and it is printing. Okay. Good question. Let's see. Different editorial board, archives, current issue. We went into this and we saw their publication policies and ethics. How do they publish? How do they, give their responsibilities of editors, authors, reviewers, and their own responsibility? Manuscript submission, we'll see here how the submission happens, or whether the journal has any guidelines with respect to charges, subscriptions, contact us, and the organization in which this journal exists. So this is a journal wherein you can publish your paper if it belongs to psychology. Now we'll go to manuscript submission and have a check. What does this say? I'm going to how to submit articles, or I'll go to author guidelines first, because there it talks about many major things. Okay, so now here you can find how the paper format should be. So it talks about that you can send in Word or docx. It talks about your camera ready paper print should be there. That means in PDF version, if you send, it's well and good, because they directly convert it. Okay, your manuscript length should be in MS Word only, so easily convertible to PDF. 5,000 words maximum, 15 typed pages maximum, including cover page, abstract text, references, tables and figures, everything. Font size is mentioned, margin is mentioned, everything word to word is mentioned. Now, also here they have given what all you should include. What you should include in your aims, objectives, hypothesis. So everything is given over here. Acknowledgements. Okay, acknowledgements you can give references. Now referencing is very important when we also come to plagiarism. So this journal particularly says that they follow the APA system of referencing. APA system of referencing is writing down the author's name in bracket after the actual presentation. So I guess you people were aware about this. Otherwise, it's a very vast thing we can discuss. This is the journal sections it is talking about, how the abstract should be, how the articles are reviewed. See, a proper journal will have, sometimes it becomes very boring. Why so much of content to read? But we should know the journal before we send. And this is what it has. It talks about how the file size should be. You should not be zipping the file, how you should send the manuscript, the original one, the review one, or case study. Everything is clearly displayed over here. What should be your pixel? What should be the size of the image, if at all it is there? And finally, what you cannot use or what you can use in your tables. Protection of patent, that's a right to privacy. That's also there. Patient's right to privacy is also there in psychological cases. So that's mentioned. Your checklist is there. Did you find anything which talks about finances? No, you did not find anything. So this journal may or may not be charging. Now what happens is, ultimately when we go to the topmost part and we go to this, we have something called as, yes, login and register. So this is one part which you can always do. Put in your login, you make your login ID, you just click on register, create your login ID, and you can see that this is actually the organization which is having this journal particularly. I'm not logging in over there. I'll go to subscriptions to give you an idea of the financial implications, how it works. Okay, now this journal particularly, it does not charge any author per se for any kind of publication directly. So it says that it do not charge. Certain journals do charge, but it has a individual subscription which is available for the journal for a year. So it says that it is going to publish your articles, but you can always subscribe for it. Now, this is not mandatory. Some journals, they mention it very clearly how you can do the subscription. But this is not what they say as mandatory. That means, suppose you pay 4,000 rupees per year and you subscribe to this journal, then once your article is printed, you will get 25 printed copies of the journal for your disposal. But if you do not pay this subscription fees and your article is published, no problem. Your article, if it is authentic enough, it will be published, but you will get only the PDF copy of the article. You will not get a printed version of the book or of the journal. So this is what is the importance part. Now, if you remember, let's go back to the very first page and see how we check. This was the journal. And what we have is, it does not have a online version. It only has a print version. So it's very clear that if you require the original manuscript to be printed and to be given to you, you need to subscribe to it. There are numerous such things. I'll now go back to group 1. See, on the left hand side, I can see a lot of things. I'll go to recently discontinued journals. Okay, you can see in January, lots of journals, 14 journals have been discontinued for various reasons. Okay, some of them do not have ISSN, EISSN either. Now, there has been a lot of controversy with respect to journals without ISSN number being in the UGC care list. So they were discontinued. There are journals which had both, but they were discontinued for different other reasons, for different malpractices and so on. So you can see this list of discarded journals. Now, along with that, since I'm talking about discarded journals, I'll go to this list of cloned journals also in the UGC care. Now, there are, quite large number of journals in this list. Let me see, I'll just pick up one journal and show you how this is. Okay, let's pick up journal number 15. Because why I'm picking up this is because this Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda is actually the West unit of UGC care in the Western zone. So it is the head, and their journal was cloned. Now see, this is the original journal and this is the clone journal. Okay, so everything remains same. Okay, everything starting from the title to everything is same. Only thing is the page will differ. Let's see. Let's go to the original journal content page. This is the original journal. Okay, rest everything. I'll just also open the clone journal so we can easily compare and see. Okay, so this is the original journal. This is the clone journal. Clone journal, don't think that somebody has taken photographs, so it's different. Now, see, you will not find any change in the allocation of the page or stuff like that, only except certain fonts are different. Now, this requires very, critical scanning to see how the original and the predatory journal or the clone journal had different fonts. You can see, I'm just swapping between them and people can observe the difference in fonts. So maybe I learned this in a couple of years. So you people can also do the same. It's very easy to identify. Second thing is this, every other information is one and the same. If I go into the predatory journal, okay, Don't worry about photo because this photo is not one and the same. So that can be different. Now see, in the predatory journal here, editor's name is mentioned in the very second page. Whereas in the original journal, in the second page, the whole team of editors and everybody's name is mentioned. And the fonts are again different. Let's go to third page. Third page is exactly what this replicates. See, this is the replica and this is the third page. But the fonts are again different. Fonts are again different. So we need to carefully understand and look at the fonts. Let me now go to the main page of contents, and herein you can identify predatory journal, fake journal with respect to original one. Okay, now look the difference. Serial number, okay. Page number, okay. What is there in the middle? Index and title. What is here in the middle? Contents and topic. So before you publish in any journal to identify whether it's fake or unique or original, you should see a last copy of the journal at least once. Now, if somebody has seen this last copy of the journal, that person will be sure that no, this is not the original journal, this is fake, and this is the original journal because it has a particular format of writing these things. Even you can see the format in which they have mentioned the list of articles and this publication form, talking about the journal, details, and so on. Now, all these things can be copied, but the fake journal doesn't have those things. Any journal which is published has to be registered under a government body as a regular distributable, newspaper or a magazine. And according to that, it is supposed to print forth the form 4 from rule 8. So this is mandatory for any publisher. So any genuine journal will have this page always there, and there will be a declaration by the editor or the publisher who is the journal owner. Okay, I hope this part is clear to all. Yes, so this articles, if you look at this particular printed version, you will never be able to recognize whether it's original or fake. Okay, so always you need to refer to this UGC Care website, which has this format, and look at the printed version, and you know it is original or fake. Okay, so quickly with this, we will now go to, I'll close this window. These are not required anymore. I'll now go to group 2 journals. Now, when I click on group 2, it brings me to this particular portion, which talks about what are the journals in group 2. There are 3 categories of journals. Initially till 2020, year 2020, MLA journals were not included. The Modern Language Association journals were not included. Now, these are all directories. These are not publishers. Scopus is not a publisher. Web of Science is not a publisher. MLA is not a publisher. These are directories or indexing lists of journals. So what they do is they list the journals depending on the quality and the content these journals are having. So quickly, I'll just click on one Scopus list. Okay, again, the reason to choose a Scopus list is because the path is very easy. It directly takes you to the Elsewhere's account page, and I have subject area. I can highlight the subject area. I can highlight the publisher. I can highlight the title. Now I'll highlight the title and I'll go for a journal named Materials Today Proceedings. Okay, this is a journal in which I'll show you one paper also. It is there. So you can see Materials Today Proceedings. It's a journal which is there with this particular, Scopus list. And you can publish your articles here. Citation score and various other things are there, which are very important for journal publication. Okay, the methodology of calculation of site score is also given. Now I'll go to this particular journal. And what happens is I reach the home page wherein the Scopus gives details. Like UGC Care also gave a details page. Here it gives a details page. And you can see Scopus coverage years from 2005, it was only 1 year. Then from 2014 till 2021. Now you'll ask me, what about 2022? The first issue of 2022 has just been published and has been sent for indexing. So you have to wait at least 1 more month to identify whether it is indexed or not. Okay, so you get till the previous academic year. So at least it takes 3 months in the first beginning of the year to get the journal indexed in the indexing list. Now, what do? We go to the source homepage. Generally, this is a journal which publishes materials related physics papers. I have published a couple of papers. So we directly go to the journal page and we can find things over here. Now you can find the articles, issues, articles in progress, articles in press, aim, scope, everything, publish. Okay, all the information which is there, and search in this journal. I'll click on this and I can search. For example, I'll search my name and let's see how it corresponds. Okay, so I get my name. It says that I'm there on earth. So this is how you can find the, suppose somebody says that I have got a paper in Elsevier or Materials Today Proceedings or any Scopus paper, like I did search my name. You search my name and you get the paper. Okay, this is very important because the papers actually are visible online with their details, with the digital object identifier numbers and everything. And this has all kinds of, you will find my papers on sarcasm detection in natural language processing. So this is a psychology paper. You will find my paper on material properties, mechanical properties and behavior of aluminum based metal matrix composites. This is a physics paper. So it's up to you how you can relate the things and you can publish, and the scope of the journal defines the publication. Okay, so I think that's fair enough with the limited time we had for this particular thing. Any queries, if anybody has, we can take up at the end. I'll quickly now go to the slide and proceed further. Okay, I have given all the links and everything in the slides over here. Slides, if the authorities wish, they can share with all the participants and you will get all the links and everything which is available. So this is what we have in the lists over there. All their links are given. You can use it yourself. Now quickly, when we go for plagiarism, we have to remember certain things, that whether we are ready to publish our work right now or not. And the readiness for publication comes only when we have original results, original methods. There may not be any output method which is 100% original, but you should have something wherein your thought process is original. You can use the old experiment to, I mean, see, it's just like fishing. You don't use new techniques for fishing. Fishing rods and fishing nets are used. Only thing is the way you implement is different and you can publish it. Most importantly, you should be avoiding the contents which I have mentioned on the left-hand side, and this saves you from being framed as a person who is not interested in scientific achievement. What type of articles can you publish in UGC Care or UGC Care listed journals or Scopus, Web of Science index journals or MLA index journals? You can either send full papers, full articles, which are substantial, complete research work, PhD related work, something wherein you have done your own innovative thought process. You can publish them. You can write letters or short communications. Now, do you think letters and short communications will not be published? Absolutely not. They accept feedback and they do publish that feedback in the consecutive editions. They send you email that yes, your feedback has been accepted and we'll be publishing your feedback on that paper as a communication. So even such, two-pager things are also possible. Most importantly, all the young researchers in the meeting today should aim for publishing a review paper every month. Okay, very shocking, right? No, because now you got ample time to make review papers with the online things available. So you have resources online available. Making of a review paper would require you to read somewhere around 150 old papers and just review them. So today we don't read papers, right? I guess all the tech savvy, new generation, younger generation nowadays has stopped reading. You download the PDF paper and you have an app in which you make it read, and the app reads the paper for you and you listen to the paper. Listening is much more easier task than reading as per psychology. So you can simply listen to the paper, identify which paragraphs are important, highlight them online, and then you can start with your own paper. So, listening to 100 plus papers will require maybe at max 2 weeks time. Not a great deal, because every paper will not be 20 pages. It will be hardly 5 or 6 pages. Okay. So if this is there, the part which comes is our final draft. Get your draft checked and rechecked and revised and revised and revised, and make it very fine-tuned. Take the help of all the senior people, all the seniors available in your college, available in your surroundings, so that they can help you through to publish the articles. Now, why I wanted to discuss about peer reviewing and responding to reviewers is because this is one of the worst scenarios that we feel. We feel that our paper passes through this kind of a situation wherein the reviewers are standing to attack us. No, it's not like that. And along with that, I would also give you the example that, see, I have cited from where I have taken this photograph. So now this person cannot file a plagiarism case or a copyright case against me, and I can sell my presentation to any organization, because I have given proper courtesy, proper, citation to the original work. Okay. This is the process which happens. I am not going to discuss this process. I have discussed this process in the whole discussion. Again, the link is given in the bottom. You can see there is a link. It is an active link. You can click on the link in the PDF itself and you get the document. And this is the process. So author, editor, reviewer, how the whole process goes in the editorial board, and how the final paper is accepted, revised, or whatever is the decision. Let's come to the last part. Now, when we talk about ethical publishing, just before that, it's 2 o'clock. So can I extend for 10 more minutes?
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And thank you all the audience, because, my slides were planned accordingly, but I need this to be explained. So let's quickly go to ethical publishing and plagiarism. Now, when we talk about this word plagiarism, it's very dynamic. Let's see how it works. I'll simply show you a basic plagiarism report, and we'll talk about the basics of this plagiarism in detail. Okay, just a minute. I want to open a report, which is a PDF file. It's my own paper again, which has a report. I'll share that report. Yes, I hope again the screen is visible. So you can see there's a physics paper by somebody. It's myself only. And I did this plagiarism check in software, which is called as Turnitin. It's a paid software, but there is a reason to it, because the softwares are very specific. It has a lot of information. This was this year's paper, 21st February. Last year's paper, 21 February 2021. And this is my, paper which I had checked. You can see I'm the second author of this paper. Okay, and look, there are a lot of colorful things in the paper. Highlighted 1, 2, 3, blue color, purple color, every green color, everything has been highlighted. Lots of highlights. Can anybody guess the plagiarism of this paper? Any random guesses? If anybody is from science stream and can understand, titanium oxide and all those things, so what could be the plagiarism of the paper? Anybody from the audience? Yes, a random guess. Okay, so I'll give you the plagiarism of this paper on the very first day. 23% similarity index is plagiarism. 23%. So 16% out of which is from internet resources, 20% is from various publications. Okay, and 3% is from student papers. And you can see every color, like I had taken certain things from Springer, and it gives me that there is 2% plagiarism from Springer. There is this much from one of our old papers. So this is the name of our co-guide, and his other students performed these papers, and we have this list. So another 1% with them. Certain online resources, you can see the online resources from which we have taken. So all percentage of plagiarized content is given. Should I be worried? My paper has got 23% plagiarism. So should I be worried? It has got such a high similarity index. No, I'm not worried, because now if I look at the paper once again, you will find that there are a lot of things which are, pure scientific terms. Dye, sensitized, solar cell. So most of the solar cell related papers do have such a terminology, and it's showing in serial number 20. So it's basically not any unethical part, but only thing is I have not given citation to this particular set of words. I should have mentioned a citation to this, mentioning in a bracket so and so. Okay, I'm not neglecting it, but I have not mentioned it. I might have mentioned in the references part in the last page of the paper. I'll just show you. Yes, see, we had somewhere around 63 references, and of course we might have them in the very first few references, but we had not mentioned. So simply it was considered as a plagiarized content. Now, no, I'll continue with this. Yes. So there are contents which is highlighted, and let me see how I can remove those contents. I'll go back to the slide once again, and we will talk about how this, things which are there with respect to plagiarism make a difference. There are certain types of plagiarism. These are all content which is there in the slide for, the attendees to know. So I have mentioned them explicitly. I'm not going to discuss them. They are very simple. Paraphrasing, we all do paraphrasing, so we know what that plagiarism would mean. Self-plagiarism. Okay, there is a circular of UGC with respect to self-plagiarism. Law of plagiarism. Nothing to discuss. It is just stealing. Okay, stealing somebody's illustrations, tables, expressions, words, figures, thoughts, ideas. So it's a theft. There is copyright infringement. There is a legal action to it. I'll just mention it here. You can see these are the 4-5 acts of legal actions. It is basically under the Indian Copyright Act of 1957 that plagiarism indirectly comes into picture. That is the most crucial one, highlighted in dark. Okay, special right. Okay, so it's a moral and perpetual authority of copyright. You need not take a copyright of each and every paper, but whatever you have published is copyrighted, and it comes under this obligation. Types of plagiarism. Yes. Now I'll show you how this plagiarism works. This is a copy of one of the papers which had such a content, and I was doing the Turnitin plagiarism checking, and we got this. So I'll just show you what this has shown. This paragraph was actually 100% plagiarized because it had a term called as MR fluids. So it is something which is related to magnetic interaction of the fluids. So those fluids we are talking about, and this whole paragraph was paraphrased. So paraphrasing plagiarism is not identified by any software, and so most of the people tell us that अगर तुम्हारा बहुत ज़्यादा plagiarism आ रहा है तो paraphrasing करो. We are advised by even senior people in the industry that you do paraphrasing. But do you think that paraphrasing is a process by which you should be actually stealing somebody's work? Better option is to do a citation. यहाँ पे जैसे यहाँ पे citation किया हुआ है, you can see there is a serial number 7 mentioned in square bracket. Okay, so this is a particular type of citation in which ऐसे bracket में serial number दिया जाता है, and references में we just put the name, complete name. So this is paraphrasing plagiarism. We'll talk about something called as verbatim copy paste. You can see this whole paragraph was copied from some other resource, and hence it's all colored. It's colored in the third part. So it's verbatim plagiarism, full copy and paste. You have not changed anything. Then in that case, give a citation here. If we give a citation and referencing, then we are plagiarism free. Mosaic or patchwork, you can see a combination, 11, 13, 9, 3, sab mila jula ke, a quick mixture. So some intelligent people do this quick mixture of mosaic or patchwork plagiarism. Again, very easily identified by the softwares. Self-plagiarism, citing own papers. Okay, self-plagiarism and accidental plagiarism are acceptable up to 5% of the percentage of total plagiarism or total similarity. So 5% out of 23% अगर होता मेरा, तो मेरा paper absolutely fine, because मेरा एक पहले का work रहेगा, मैंने पहले 3 महीने में कुछ काम किया, उसका I published a paper, and next 3 months I published another paper, so I can always refer to the old one, showing that. So that self-plagiarism is acceptable. Accidental plagiarism, you don't know actually, but certain words, you can see accidental plagiarism में यहाँ पे कुछ highlight नहीं हुआ है. The paragraph is not highlighted. Only a couple of words are highlighted, and science papers में, scientific papers में, terminologies do remain same. मैं MR fluids को RM fluids नहीं बोल सकता. Fluid को I have to say fluid. I cannot say it as liquid. It's a fluid. It can be gas. It can be liquid. So, those are the constraints of this kind of identification of plagiarism, and this is how we can identify and rectify them. We will also talk about, identifying these plagiarisms by how people do it. One is a self-stiller, self-plagiarism, as I told you. Copy-paste, khud ka hi copy-paste and bar usi ko dikhana. UGC has a circular, I'll show you in the next slide. Potluck paper. Potluck is something like which earlier people used to do. Take an existing paper. We know that that paper is not coming to our, university or college in near future. Rewrite it, republish it, and get the whole, credit. Photocopy, I have told you about copy paste. Ghostwriter is what is now abundant in India. Well, there is reason to it. With all the pressures that we have for, teachers, our authorities are there, principals are, and others are there in the meeting. So they would realize that as faculty members, we have to teach, we have to train, we have to learn, and then we have to publish. So it takes a little bit of toll. So we need more personal management. Absolutely, every faculty should have the ability to do good personal management to avoid such kind of way of plagiarism, which is by using a ghostwriter. There is a very important part that in certain circumstances, we try to, deviate from plagiarism, saying that it is not copyright. And there is like a loophole in the Indian Copyright Act, which we all take benefit of to a certain extent. But, taking benefit of incorrect things is not appropriate in long run. If it gets identified, your whole career gets disturbed. I have mentioned about paraphrasing amounting to plagiarism. It's all mentioned over here. You should always do citation and give references. This is the UGC regulation on self-plagiarism. So it has mentioned that in self-plagiarism, you cannot publish your own work. And if you are found to do that, you would be, first of all, blacklisted from the journals wherein you published your work. You would be blacklisted from your future progression using API scores, using the academic appraisal benefits, and you could lose your job if you are in a organized government sector. Very simply, there are lots of softwares nowadays. A lot of new websites and softwares are also available, but some of them are free, some of them are paid. I always go ahead with Turnitin. Now even Urkund is actually a paid software, but it's started a free version for students, which is not really very great. But Turnitin is the kind of sasta sundar tikau and best option that we have. It charges somewhere around $15 per year. I renew it myself. $15 saal ka, not a big thing. I can renew it. Average $1.2 per month is all inclusive. And it gives me a good license to check all the work. Now, while talking about plagiarism related checking software, some people will think, "Arey, Abhra sir, kya itna matlab simple si cheez bol rahe hain हमें पता है, हम direct Grammarly में डाल देंगे और हो जाएगा." But my dear friends, do you know that most of this free softwares, checking softwares, are actually a database of content? So when you are uploading your content on their website, their portal, somebody might fish in your content, copy your content, modify your content, and most importantly, publish before you get published. So if that is published, then your content becomes plagiarized. So you should be very clear. Without knowing the authenticity of the website, you should not try to use it. Like in India nowadays, Grammarly is very, very frequently used. So should we trust on it? Now that's something which we need to take a call on. This right-hand side are all the paid softwares. I prefer Turnitin because it's a huge database, original database of most of the research publications, as well as journals. It also has books and articles or communications, short communications, जैसे letters वगैरह भी उसमें आते हैं. So a huge database and a good one to certain satisfaction. Urkund, of course, is originally, now it's called as Ourginal. Okay, so it's Ourginal, which is now available from the Urkund. You can go to its official website and you can get the details. But Urkund is free for students. अगर आपके teachers, आपके guides already Urkund user हैं through the organizational login ID, then you can be registered as a student free of cost and you can do your things free of cost. Finally, before I come towards the conclusion of this whole discussion, remember that this is something which I want to say, because India mein copyright acts and plagiarism related regulations are very weak. We should not be taking benefit, because if in next coming 4 or 5 years it comes up strongly, then maybe all our effort and work would be banned and we would be in deep soup or trouble. So let us be authentic. Let us work on it sincerely. All these things can be plagiarized. So I am trying to mention it very simply. Stop copying word for word. Stop paraphrasing. Stop using text recycling or self-plagiarism. Like for example, हमने Grammarly की बात की. Very nice software, very nice online option wherein you can do text recycling. You can do paraphrasing. आपने एक पैराग्राफ डाल दिया, वो खुद ही बताता है कितना plagiarized है. Then you again paste it and it modifies and gives you the final free plagiarism free version. But is it authentic? Because sometime it will be in the database and that will identify you are doing a wrong practice. Plagiarism is not only easily detected, but also easily avoided. So my friends, kindly avoid that. Use ideas, phrases from sources already published. Just acknowledge them. Mention a citation to the original author, like I did in my images also. So now I can sell this PowerPoint presentation anywhere because I have given citation to my presentation. Last part which I want to say is to promote your research. You know why? Because there is a common saying, people say, "Arey bhai, paid journals mein kyun dena? Free journals mein dalo, isme dalo, usme dalo." But I would always advise all the researchers, try to popularize. Apne paper ke links aap share karo. The more people cite your paper, there is a chance that you will become more successful in the field of research. I have just taken my example and I have shown over here that in last 2 years, thank you to the unfortunate lockdown, that in 2020 and 2021, I could publish roughly around 9 papers in this span. And my citations got higher and higher. You can see my citations of papers have gone up to 39 in the year 2001. So you all should have your Google Scholar, your Pablons, your ORCID IDs and everything synchronized, and you should try to get your work cited by others. There are various factors which help. For example, Principal Sir mentioned in the beginning about NAC and its criteria. In criteria 3, if you are a recognized, writer or author, you have such high index publications, you have H index higher, you have I10 index, which is actually by Google. So such indices define how prominent author you are. So you should always try for this. With this, I come to the end of my slides, and I would, request the organizers to continue further.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Really, thank you so much, sir, for your thought-provoking knowledge and enlightening us, which has set a perfect platform for our day 1 FDP. So moving on with, let's have a question answer round. To conduct the same, I would like to hand over the session to Assistant Professor Trushan and Assistant Professor Anshi. Over to you.
Thank you, Priti ma'am. Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you, Preeti ma'am.
Thank you,
Sir,
Anshi
Darshini ma'am. Thank you, sir. Darshini ma'am wants to ask a question that what is the reason of rejection of manuscript, especially in the Springer Journal? Is it because of language problem or presentability or any other problem?
Language problem, of course, not really language problem. Many a times the Indian papers, sorry, many a times our Indian papers get rejected because at times we are not able to convey grammatically correct. For example, at many places, like we have a common way of saying, suppose we search something and it says some data is not available. You will find in the foreign websites that it says data not available. In Indian websites, we say no any data. Okay, for Indian English, we accept it correct. No any data, no any information. But actually, it's a it's Indian English. We have accepted it. But in the international platform, it's a wrong English grammatically. It says we should mention no data available. So many a times we lose out on this. Second thing is, if your work is a quality work, if the interpretation is a quality interpretation, it gets accepted. But Springer is a super enriched band of journals. So today we were talking about only UGC case, so I could just brush through in around 55 minutes. But when we talk about Springer, I take full 2-day workshops for Springer publications. Springer is Springer. Elsevier is Elsevier. We cannot talk about their level because there is a diverse criteria for it. Every single parameter, suppose I place a paper with some hypothesis, then every part of my hypothesis is not only checked by a physicist or a psychologist, but is also checked by a statistician. Peer review process is very tough. Furthermore, they require low level of plagiarism, which we generally get onto a low level by using this kind of Grammarly or paraphrasing and all that thing. No, third most important thing which we lose out on is the way the title of the paper is mentioned. Title हमने एक कुछ लिखा है और हमने paper और ही कुछ लिखा है. You know, if you ask me personally, when we do paper writing or when I do paper writing workshops, I tell very clearly your title should be within 8 to 15 words. 8 minimum, because otherwise एक scientific paper का title नहीं बन सकता है. 15 maximum. If your title is 20-25 words, automatically it doesn't fall in the criteria. So these are, entry level criteria. There are very other, important pointers as well. But overall, when I talk about Springer, this could be the major defects. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to hand over to Trishant, sir, for further questions.
Sure.
Trishant, sir, over to you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Myself, Assistant Professor Tushant Wadkar from KLE College. I hope all the participants are well now. My another question is asked by Shashikala Prajapati ma'am.
Yes.
We wanted to know that how to identify predatory journal, sir.
Okay, as I showed you over there, so predatory journal, you need to at least have one copy of the earlier original journal, and then you need to compare it. Now, UGC CARE is taking that care. Here it is a small CARE for us. They are making the list of the predatory journals. So when we go to the list of predatory journals, we can actually, identify what is the difference between the original and the fake one. So right now you should just refer to the UGC CARE list. And one more thing before, just as a short information, suppose you have published your paper in the month of January in a journal which is there in UGC CARE list. And suddenly in the month of April, that journal gets delisted from the UGC CARE list. Do not worry, because that journal in the month of January was there in UGC CARE list, and your paper will be acceptable for your academic appraisal. You can get your scores, whatever scores is applicable to you based on that paper. So it is just exactly like that. For example, there's something like in patents. In Indian patent, when we file a patent, it takes almost 2 years to get a patent granted. But we get the credit of the patent only when the filing happens. Filing हो गया तो तुरंत हमें credit मिल जाता है, हमारे API में वो score add हो जाता है. So this is the part you should know about UGC CARE and the journals getting listed or delisted. But refer to the UGC site's cloned list. And before sending the paper, you should send the paper. One more thing, I'll tell you a short trick. Remember, all the predatory journals will be sending you email. Submit your paper. They will put you offers that publish your paper before this quarter, before this issue. These are all predatory journals. Recognized journals do not have to hunt for papers because उन्हें तो reject करना होता है. वो थोड़े ना paper hunt करेंगे. So all the predatory journals will hunt for papers. Second important thing is predatory journals can publish in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. UGC CARE journals, if proper, will publish in at least 1 month, not before a month. Monthly journal होगा तो 1 month. मेरे तो papers 4 महीने बाद publish होते हैं because they are recognized journals. People who have been publishing in Scopus or Web of Science would be aware that Scopus में तो एक paper को 10 महीने भी लग सकते हैं. 6 से 7 महीने तो common चीज है. अगर मैंने जनवरी में पेपर भेजा, मेरा थीसिस सबमिशन हो जाता है जून में, still my paper will be published in the month of August. So, all the predatory journals do immediate publication. They charge you, you will get lots of WhatsApp messages, you will get other messages which talks about, be aware, there are predatory and fake journals also in this list. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir. Prashant, sir, I can see one question in the chat box by Milind Gurchal. If we decided title of the paper for some general topic and later come to know that the same title is being used by others, in that case, is it plagiarism? Yes, very important question. Now, Milind, sir, when you decide the title of a paper, you do a paper search. You obviously do a search on the internet. And when you do your plagiarism check before paper submission, because most of the top journals require less than 10% plagiarism, less than 8% plagiarism. So for example, आपके स्कोपस में जाना है अच्छे जर्नल्स में जो कि 8-10 महीने बाद पब्लिश होगा, बट स्टिल आपको 8% से नीचे प्लेगरिज्म चाहिए. So you will do some Turnitin or Urkund check, not Grammarly, something professional. Okay, then whatever is the title, if at all it has been accepted, will be shown. Now in case, suppose you have published a paper and somebody else in Netherlands has also written a paper on the same context, and उसका पेपर दिसंबर में पब्लिश हुआ, राइट? आपने पेपर पिछले जून में भेजा है या जुलाई में भेजा है या अगस्त में भेजा है, आपका वर्क हो चुका है, एंड पेपर उसका दिसंबर में पब्लिश हुआ. Immediately that journal editors will send you an email with the review that you need to change the title of the paper to get it accepted because इस तारीख को इस जगह पे ये पेपर पब्लिश हुआ है. So authentic journals का यही फैशन है. They will immediately tell you कि you change your paper title and this content is what is already just published this months back. मेरा खुद का एक्सपीरियंस रहा है. मैंने जो वो एक पेपर दिखाया था टाइटेनियम ऑक्साइड का, सिमिलरली वी हैड 2 मेटल ऑक्साइड रिलेटेड वर्क. हमारा टाइटेनियम ऑक्साइड एक्सेप्ट हो गया. दूसरे जर्नल पे हमने दूसरा पेपर भेजा था, बिकॉज अलग अलग जर्नल्स में हम लोग भेजते रहते हैं, एंड पेपर अलग था, वर्क सिमिलर था बट पेपर अलग था, तो प्लेगरिज्म चेक करके भेजा एंड ये एमटीपी में एक्सेप्ट हो गया, मटेरियल्स टुडे प्रोसीडिंग्स स्कोपस में एक्सेप्ट हो गया. सेकंड जर्नल immediately send us a mail within 7 days कि such a paper is there and we should modify the title and few of the work also. उन्होंने हमारा आधा वर्क को प्लेगराइज डिक्लेयर कर दिया, बोला कि ये वर्क अभी किया है और ऑथर में हमारा ही नाम है, बट इट सेज इट इज प्लेगराइज्ड बिकॉज़ वो सेल्फ प्लेगरिज्म हो जाता है. सो वी हैड टू चेंज एंड इट वर्कड.
थैंक यू सर.
There's one more question I can see, sir. मुझे questions दिख रहे हैं. This one, if some conference promised to publish in UGC and after paper gets published, we come to know, then what to do?
Yes.
As name of the journal is not mentioned. आरती मैम, I would request always कि आप बात कीजिए जिनके पास भी आप वो कॉन्फ्रेंस में जा रहे हैं कि which is the journal, what level of journal, and without identifying the level of journal, do not give your paper. See, हमारा एक क्रश रहता है, मैं क्रश ही बोलूंगा, ये जो टीनेजर्स जैसा, अरे जर्नल मिल रहा है छापो. Don't do that. Trust me, a time comes जब आपको लगता है यार नहीं छापना है, अभी बस हो गया. You know, it happens. So I mean, nowadays, trust me, I am in a college wherein I teach undergraduate students. BSc वालों को मैं पढ़ाता हूँ physics, psychology ऐसे subjects, and my SY students are publishing papers. Because अभी मेरा वो क्रेज चला गया है, ठीक है ना, साल में 2-3 हो गए, बहुत हो गया. मेरे और API से क्या होने वाला है अभी. now my students are publishing. मेरे घुमा फिरा के 6-7 पेपर ऐसे ही हो जाते हैं. मेरे गाइड को गाइड के साथ पेपर होते हैं, मेरे खुद के काम का पेटेंट होता है, पेपर होता है. तो मेरे स्टूडेंट्स के पेपर में आई डोंट मेंशन माय नेम. वो लास्ट में एक एक्नॉलेजमेंट कॉलेज मजबूर करती है, इसलिए दे राइट, अदरवाइज देयर पेपर्स आर पब्लिश्ड. एंड SY BSc, सो आई मीन, यू नो, we have to now become matured. We should not run behind such conferences to publish papers. You wish to publish, give me a call. I'll tell you n number of journals which are genuine and you can publish. आज तो मैंने UGC केयर में आपको दिखा भी दिया ना, how to identify and how to publish. So should not be a problem. Yes, Trishant sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more question is there. That
Yes,
Sushma
sir.
Singh ma'am is asking that, sir, please guide us on credits.
Credits in the sense?
Sushma Singh ma'am is there? Sushma Singh ma'am?
I think it is API credits, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, now that is very simple. There is a UGC protocol which is available for publications, and it differs. There are 2 things. One is the university has the discrepancy into it, which they can modify. कभी कभार जैसे मतलब कितना स्कोर कंसिडर करना है फॉर अ लिस्टेड पब्लिकेशन और फॉर अ पीयर रिव्यूड पब्लिकेशन, बिकॉज एज पर क्रेडिट्स अगर देखा जाए उसमें पहले पीयर रिव्यूड जर्नल्स जो एक्सेप्टेड होते थे अभी वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं होते. सो बेटर वी शुड लुक टुवर्ड्स गेटिंग, यू नो, दैट पार्ट. In general, if in an international journal your paper is published, the first author gets the maximum weightage and the rest of the authors get 30% of the weightage. So maximum first author को मिलता है and corresponding author को मिलता है. Corresponding author हम पेपर में, हर एक पेपर में we have to highlight, वहाँ पे asterisk mark, star mark देके we highlight, and they get the maximum weightage. But for UGC care journals, there is an exclusion for it as well, कि wherein the equal number of credit points can be shared, but still वहां पे बोला गया है कि first author को maximum credit मिलना है. So it goes from 50% to 70%. UGC has given a complete circular है उसके बारे में एक UGC site में, you can refer to it, and your university will have its own API guidelines for different positions. So accordingly, because print मतलब publishing का अलग अलग at assistant professor level there is a different weightage, at associate professor level wise उसका credibility कम ज़्यादा होता जाता है. So higher the level your obviously you are not going to be the first author, आप second third authors होते हैं. मेरा guide कभी भी मेरे guide first author होते ही नहीं है. He is maybe fifth author, fourth author. So for different status have different requirements. So accordingly you can look into the credits.
Okay, thank you, sir. The questions available in the chat box are over, but I will request all the participants, if anyone want to ask the question, they can directly ask here.
Yes, Trushan sir, they can directly ask. Even my email ID is available. My phone numbers are available. You feel free to share the questions.
Yes.
Because see, I'm still pursuing my PhD. My students have already completed PhD, but I haven't. So my aim is now making a kind of publication learned India. So I was very happy to be a part of this session today on the very first day and on this topic itself. So yes, feel free to reach me out in terms of any kind of queries you have.
Thank you, sir.
And kindly share my slides with all the participants so that they can use it for information.
Sir, Aarti ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I have
Yes,
asked
ma'am.
that question, and can I have a talk with you for 1 minute?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Sir, what happened in that conference? They said that they are going to publish in the UGC care list, okay? And they have given the name of that journal. Now it got published. I think it's their private copy of the conference proceeding, and it's not UGC care list. But will that paper be considered as valid or it will be invalid?
Ma'am, paper will be valid. Your content will be now, because now most of the content is available online. So if you write anything similar to it, you will get it in plagiarism also. Okay, so be very aware that now your content is on the market. No, you will not get any credits for that paper if it is not in the current, जब वो publish हुआ तब वो UGC care में नहीं है, तो you will not get any credit. Whereas अगर वो जब publish हुआ उस महीने it was there in UGC care list, you will get the full credits.
Okay, sir.
So API में direct credit नहीं मिलेगा, but plagiarism में आपके वो paper का title और बाकी चीजें आ जाएंगी. Hopefully, if that journal has placed it online as well, because most of the journals are now placing it online. So, ma'am, there are two things. I'll tell you something. What I told you in the last part of my slide is do citations. See, now your paper is already out. You cannot change it. Now you got students who will work on the field. If you have got PhD scholars or other students working on the field doing projects, get their papers published and increase your citations. Because then in that case, whatever you have done, if it is an authentic work, अगर आपका hard मतलब खून पसीने का writing है, तो at least you will have more citations, and citations मतलब आपका research market में credentials ज़्यादा है. Today Abhra Ray doesn't have a PhD, but Abhra Ray has research credentials because he has got patents, he has got citations. So people call Abhra Ray. So see, I cannot have an overnight PhD. So only thing is I have a credibility, I had a credential, and research credentials you can always get if you try to have that thing.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one more question we are getting here. Songa Srilata ma'am want to ask the question that, sir, the plagiarism report is to be made with the help of websites available on the internet?
Srilata ma'am, not on the websites because they are not very authentic. As I told you, preferentially you should always try to use a software which is either like use Turnitin, use Urkund, use a good software. Your college, your university will have some software. Like Pune University has Urkund. So when we require, what I do is I just give a call to my guide. Sir, मुझे एक paper check करना है. So he tells me, okay, तू login कर ले and check कर ले. I do it myself. So it's like Urkund or this kind of softwares are available. Turnitin, as I told you, $15 में annual subscription available है, student subscription. Take a subscription na. If you are really interested, like मेरे लिए ये हर दिन का काम है. I want to do research work. I want to do publication. शुक्र मनाइए कि बुक में प्लेगरिज्म आज तक नहीं आ रहा है. बुक प्लेगरिज्म अब तक इंडिया में शुरू नहीं हुआ है. हमारे ऑथर्स दूसरे का बुक उठाते हैं, लाइब्रेरी में जाके उसी को टाइप करते हैं, उसी को स्कैन करते हैं और छाप देते हैं. So there are publications like I should not name such publications are in Maharashtra which publish books for BSc BA students with the topics like abnormal psychology ke books. Local publications are publishing. So these are the things which we have to take care of. So better is use a proper software to get the plagiarism check done, the report being prepared. That's very important. That's really very important. I have shared the list of the sites. You can use them also. Grammarly usme although mentioned hai, but again, you can use some part of it.
Thank you, sir. I hope Songa Srilata ma'am has cleared her doubt. And now by checking the chat box, I don't feel so any more question is there. If anyone want to ask the question directly, they can ask.
Now participants post lunch might be feeling sleepy. So or some of them may not have had lunch. Ki pehla session hai, so we should attend. And so they might be hungry.
So, right. So I would like to hand over the session now to our today's anchor, Priti Imdagni ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. Shaila
Thank you,
Rane
sir.
ma'am has raised a hand.
Yes, Shaila ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Shaila ma'am, you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So, sir, session was very nice. I liked this session. First time I attended this very much wonderful session. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. My request to all the participants is, after this session, if you feel encouraged, please do publish or at least do write a paper in a UGC Care journal. Do not hunt for any scopus or anything. And UGC Care journal, lots of them are there. And do write a paper and publish at least a review paper. See, if our undergraduate students can do, so why not? We all are academicians, so we can always do it.
Sure, sir. Yes, everyone. First of all, I would like Sarah ma'am also has raised a hand. If you have any doubt in case of any query, please go ahead, because we have certain things left. We have to continue with that. Sarah ma'am, do you have any query?
No. Good afternoon, everyone. No, I don't have any doubt. Actually, I wanted to say that it's a wonderful session and it was very knowledgeable. Thank you, Abhra sir, and thank you, KLE Society, for organizing such a wonderful session. Actually, after a very long time, I'm attending such kind of session because of my maternity purpose. I was not in touch with all these things, so I'm very happy and grateful to you. Thank you,
Yes,
everyone,
thank you,
once
ma'am.
again.
Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of KLE, I said thank you to everyone. I would like to say thank you to all. But before that, thank you, sir. Thank you, Trishant sir, and thank you, Anshi ma'am. Now, let's move forward. As it is rightly said, the essence of all beautiful art is in gratitude. So, I would like to call upon Dr. Shashikala Prajapati to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. A very warm and graceful good afternoon to all. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for the Day 1 Faculty Development Program on publication of research paper in the UGC care listed journals and plagiarism. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making today's occasion a resounding success. First and foremost, I thank Delhi Society's chairman, Dr. Prabhakar Kurmi, of encouragement and towards success. Then I thank KD management for supporting us in all our endeavors. My heartfelt thank goes to our honorable and dynamic principal, Dr. G.D. Giri, for constantly motivating and supporting us in all sorts of events. I am grateful to today's resource person, Assistant Professor Abhra Pratip Sir from the Department of Physics and Psychology, Pratibha College of Commerce and Computer Studies, Pune, for accepting our invitation and delivering such a huge, informative and enlightening session. I owe special gratitude to FDP convener and Professor Swapnali Karge for giving a kind thought to arrange this FDP. I thank IQAC coordinators, Assistant Professor Dr. Fatima Sheikh and Assistant Professor Mr. Yogendra Darbi for their continuous guidance for this program. I also thank Training Cell Convener, Assistant Professor Dr. Nirja Nemla for her constant support. My special thank goes to the organizing committee of this FDP, Dr. Fatima Sheikh, who is the IQAC coordinator also, Mr. Yogendra Darvi, who is also IQAC coordinator, Dr. Nirja Namla, Training and Placement Cell coordinator, Mrs. Swapnali Karge, who is the convener for IQAC Criteria 6. A special thank goes to IT support team, Assistant Professor Neha Pandhare and her team for providing uninterrupted IT support. A sincere thanks to all non-teaching staff for their unstinted support to conduct the event, and a warm gratitude to all my faculty members for their help in conducting this FTP. And last but not the least, I thank you, my dear participants, within and outside Maharashtra for joining this FTP and making it a successful one. There is one announcement. Our tomorrow's resource person is Dr. Manisha Purohit. She is an associate professor from Lotus Business School, Pune. She will be speaking on managing work-life balance, a juggling act, and timing will be same as today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Preeti ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Shashikala ma'am. There is one instruction in the form of reminder for all that everyone need to attend all the 3 days FDP, and for each day feedback link will be provided, and at the end there will be one consolidated feedback link also. After filling all these links, you will be awarded with your e-certificate. So that was the important announcement, some reminder for all the participants. Now over to Neha ma'am, as we need to. Neha ma'am is there?
Yeah. Thank you, Preeti ma'am. I request all the participants to kindly switch on their videos.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you, Abhra sir. It was really a very nice session and informative session for us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just a few seconds more. I'm just taking a screenshot of it. Thank you, everyone. That's done. Thank you so much for joining today. We'll join me tomorrow again at the same time.
Okay, so
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Neha
you,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank you
Abhra,
all.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
everyone.
Abhra,
Thank you,
sir,
sir.
thank you very much. Very informative session, sir.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
So with Principal Sir's permission, I would like to declare officially the end of the day 1 FDP. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.